Hello and welcome again to this mindful movement meditation series. My name is Monique and today we'll be moving together for 30 minutes seated on a chair. So just finding a chair and a comfortable space, and perhaps even just allowing yourselves to sort of move and sit forward on the chair, so that you feel as if you're planted and earthing down into the ground with both feet, really connecting and feeling that connection of the solidarity of the ground beneath you. And you might wish to sort of wiggle your way in, especially if you've had a busy day today, just taking a few moments to settle in and just to explore how the body is feeling and how you're feeling in this present moment. So the invitation is to perhaps even close down the eyes as we form our intention for this practice and take a moment here just to arrive. The intention of this practice today is to welcome and to come back to the body, the breath. So journeying back down into the body and exploring all the sensations as they arise, noticing all the shifts and changes and flux and flow, moment by moment, noticing the mind as it wanders to and from awareness and then automatic pilot, and back to awareness again, with attitudes of kindness and acceptance here, compassion for the body, for our humanity and our humanness, as everything arising and falling away is part of that humanness. So really allowing a sense of non-judging and non-striving as you explore and journey through this 30 minutes. So just tuning in and beginning to open your awareness, noticing how the body is sat and the posture that you've chosen. And as you become aware and awake, you might notice that the body is inching forward, or perhaps maybe there's some element of sort of holding or tensing through the shoulders, or perhaps there's an element of sort of moving towards the back of the seat. So whatever's arising here, just noticing how the body is, where the feet are placed, what it feels like to connect the feet down to the earth. Just take a moment here to notice as you explore where the attention is flowing. Not needing to fix anything in this particular moment, but just observing what's here, what's happening now. It's in the realm of our consciousness, the forefront of our awareness. And then slowly gathering our attention now onto the breath and just noticing how the breath is placed for you today. Perhaps even noticing the breath as it moves in and out of the body, if that feels right for you. Perhaps even noticing that when we do place our attention on the breath, perhaps the breath is altering or changing with that awareness. There's no right or wrong, simply just noticing as we place our attention onto the breath, what unfolds, what rises here, what changes, what shifts. And then remembering your anchors, so just knowing that at any time throughout the practice, if anything becomes difficult or challenging, if physically or emotionally, we can always come back to just anchoring the feet on the floor, the sit bones connecting down into the chair, or perhaps the movement of the breath, whatever feels right for you. So as we begin now to open the eyes gently, or perhaps you wish to keep them closed and listen to the sound of my voice, we're going to move the feet forward, and so that we sort of start to lengthen the legs out. See how that feels in the body to be a little bit unstable in our seat. And then from here, take notice of the feet and then bring your eye gaze down towards your feet. We're just going to explore these sensations here for a moment. We're going to start to lift our feet up off the ground and flex our toes towards the face. And then slowly anchor them back down to earth again. And it doesn't matter if your upper body moves with the lower body, that's perfectly fine. And then we're just going to flex again and notice what it's like to effort to bring the toes towards the knees and then slowly drop them back down again. And again, if the body needs to move with that, there's no problems letting the body move and shift with the feet. And then coming back down. So just exploring this in your own time, a few more times, flexing the toes towards the face and then settling back down into earth, connecting. Noticing what's here for you now. Perhaps even changing the pace and the rhythm to notice what it's like when you change the pace, going really slow perhaps. Or maybe you want to speed it up and go fast, heel toe, heel toe. Just noticing the different sensations, the flux and the change and the shift that the body makes. And then from here, we're going to slowly start to walk the heels back and walk the legs out a little bit wider. And then just take the toes outwards with the toes becoming active again. And then slowly drawing the toes inwards as if you're knock-kneeing. And then drawing the toes outwards. We feel maybe something from the base of the body as we take this movement, the various segments of the body. And then the toes and the knees moving towards one another. Remembering that your practice and your body will look different to mine and my shape. So not needing to look a certain way, but just sort of following as best as you can in your own body, your own shape. And moving the feet internally, and then perhaps exploring what it's like to move them out externally. Just with the toes lifting, noticing that movement and how it feels. What sensations are here for you now? And then on your last one, slowly coming back into your seat. And then standing both feet firmly again on the chair, on the ground. Sit bones connecting on the chair, feet connecting down to earth. We're going to step our feet towards one another again. And from here, see if we can bring the knees closer together. And hands can be very comfortable laid on the lap. I'm going to take a slow kick out and just see what it's like to explore the strength of the upper thigh. And no need to extend the leg to a really high position, but just slowly kicking it back and forward to wherever is comfortable in your body. And if you want a little bit of edginess and you want to explore the sensation of strengthening and tightening those muscles, then perhaps you might want to explore going a bit higher. We're just going to do this a few times with the breath, efforting and easing through this movement and noticing what's here for us now in this movement as we move mindfully together. Perhaps there's some sensation of heat in the leg and the thigh. Perhaps there's some sensation of discomfort through the effort. Really feeling that squeezing and holding as we lift and lower. Just exploring with this kindly awareness and attention. Seeing what's here for us now. Perhaps if it is feeling challenging, noticing if we want this exercise or this particular movement to shift and change, or if we want to move away from it. Just being curious as to how it feels to be with it, with this movement. And 2 more times. And on the last one, let it move out again, and then slowly dropping that right leg down and just being with the sensations that are here for you now. So maybe feeling some tingling, some heat, some effort, maybe even noticing the blood, sort of fresh blood that's been formed from efforting and easing through that leg. The miracle of our bodies, our very alive, alert bodies, changing and shifting with movement. And then when you're ready, once you've sort of come back into the body and ready to go on to the opposite leg now, we're going to explore the opposite side. And just very gently sort of starting to move through that effort and ease again. So noticing the difference between the extension of the leg and then slowly bringing it back again. Exploring with your awareness here and your attention. Just moving at your own pace and rhythm, changing the shape, changing the rhythm. And remembering to be awake and aware to the flux and flow. Perhaps thoughts are coming and going, or maybe the mind has wandered off from the body and the changing of the shape. If your mind has wandered, with curiosity, just noticing where the mind's wandered to. And there's always choice. So when we become awake and aware to the autopilot where our mind has wandered, we might choose to come back to the guidance of my voice and the practice, just noticing these changes and shifts that occur as part of our humanness, part of our exploration of this present moment. And maybe one more time, just feeling it, noticing what's here for you now in the body. And then slowly dropping down again and resettling into the whole body. And just letting the arms relax down by your side now. Just seeing what it feels like to come back to a seated stance. Finding this shape, noticing your posture, perhaps sensing and feeling any movement or change in the lower half of the body due to that exercise, that movement. And then we're going to slowly start to bring awareness now to the upper body. So using our hands here, we're going to slowly start to bring the arms up and explore the upper half of the body now. Placing the hands gently behind the back of the head and finding the midsection of the body, upper body. And then take a slow twist if it's right for you. And as you begin to twist, just noticing how it feels to move. We don't have to go so far, only going as far as we feel the twist. And letting our eyes move in a way that feels right for us, We might close the eyes, or perhaps they're open, becoming awake and aware to the sense of sight, noticing where the eye gaze is moving to, and then awake and aware to the sense in the body. So what are we feeling? What's happening here now in the body? Exploring with that beginner's mind and curiosity. And then slowly taking it back around and moving in a way that's kind again, this non-striving attitude, just really exploring the sensations that arise as we move moment to moment. This opportunity to be here with the body. I'm going to slowly move from left to right in our own pace and time. So exploring what it's like to move with some fluidity. So moving with your own tempo of breath. Just getting a sense of how the body's feeling as it's seated here, twisting from left to right. Perhaps even noticing what it's like to have the hands behind the back of the head, clasping. Maybe there's some tightness or tension, holding or resistance in the upper body. Perhaps we become awake and aware to some old hurts or old aches and pains, or areas of the body which may have been tight from being seated for long amounts of times, perhaps in front of a computer. So just really being mindful as to what is arising here for you now. And then slowly coming back to your center. I'm going to let the arms sort of slowly come back down gently to the sides, letting them dangle. And just stopping and pausing again with all the sensations here. Perhaps becoming awake and aware to any sensations in the fingers, the hands, maybe some tingling, coolness, warmth, aliveness. And then noticing here if the mind has wandered away from the sensations. Perhaps there have been some thoughts, perhaps we're being caught up in thoughts. Begun to remember or plan or do, thinking thoughts, or maybe there are some emotions that are arising with the movement. Emotions such as impatience or boredom, frustration. There could be many various things arising as we come to sit. And simply noticing these acts of kindness, noticing our own humanity again, our own humanness. And this being part of the exploration, part of the practice and the journey. And perhaps when we're ready, coming back to the feet on the floor, the anchors, the sit bones connecting to the chair. Maybe the breath. And then very slowly beginning to invite in movement again, opening the eyes when your attention and your awareness is starting to come back to the body. We're going to start to shift and lift our right arm and see if we can stretch down the length of our right body. And then slowly moving in the opposite direction. So really feeling that length and stretch, reaching the arm up overhead. And then again going on the opposite side. You can even scoop the opposite arm under. Just doing what's right for you here again. Going with the rhythm of your breath, just watching, meeting the mind, body and the breath together with that awareness of sensation. Coming home to the body. Noticing what's here for me now. And then coming back to your center and just dangling the arms behind you and placing them somewhere on the chair. So we can just scoop the hands behind us, maybe even interlacing the hands if that's available in your body. And we're going to hug the shoulders and the collarbones forward and then take a big in-breath and open through the front chest and see how that feels. Maybe finding a little curve and an arch in the back. If that doesn't feel right for you, just doing what you can here in this pose. And then rounding in the upper body, maybe even curling the chin towards the throat. And moving in the opposite direction and opening. And you can sort of start to even move in through the neck and the head and opening through the front chest, opening the front body and then closing it down. So doing this 4 or 5 times and just exploring the sensations of movement through the spine, through the front and the back body. I'm curious whether or not there are pleasant aspects of movement here. Maybe there are some unpleasant aspects of movement. Perhaps there's no particular sensation that we're feeling other than being quite neutral. It's neither here nor there, just recognizing the movement in our body. And then very slowly coming back to a neutral position where we're just coming back to the original shape that we formed in the beginning of our practice, seated, hands comfortably on the lap, resettling down, soles connecting down to earth. And from here, we're going to slowly start to step into our left foot and bring it towards the center so that we feel like we're sort of anchoring into our left foot and extending our right leg and lifting here. And as we lift here, seeing where we can cross it over that opposite leg thigh. So it might look something like this for you today in your body, or perhaps in your body your knee will roll down. It doesn't matter. It's more about just seeing what it feels like to move and shift into this cross-legged position. I'm going to wait forward to sort of start to explore any sensations in the backs of the buttocks, maybe the lower back. So just mindfully moving forward and back, feeling your way into this posture. And noticing what's here for you now. So just really again coming back to the body as an invitation to be with the body in this present moment. And using this opportunity with the body and the breath to just explore the sensations as they arise. They come, they go, much like the thoughts do, much like the breath does, moment by moment. Finding your way into your body, moving and shifting in a way that feels supportive, safe, yet still finding something here. Remember, if there's any sharp shooting pain or something doesn't feel right, then modifying and changing your shape. Not needing to make it look a certain way, but just being with the sensations. The mindful movement practice of just exploring attention, focusing here with awareness and concentration on the movement. So just honing in, narrowing our focus and our awareness down into the sensations of the body. And on the last one, just bowing in towards that thigh, exploring, and maybe even holding here if it feels right. Stopping here for a moment to explore areas in the body that might be resisting or tight, holding or gripping. And very gently, we're going to slowly move away from that sensation, let the leg land and cross over in the opposite way. So again, your body is different to mine, not needing to look a certain way, but maybe even needing to cross the legs today, or loosely cross the legs and bind the legs, whatever feels right. Or perhaps if the body is able to, you can cross the ankle up on the top thighs. So just moving again in a way that feels right for your body, your shape. And once you've found that particular shape that looks similar or something along the lines of crossing the leg, and starting to explore on this side. And just moving whatever way feels right for you. Could be staying up quite high today, just very gentle, little movements, subtle movements, or perhaps you might want to explore a little bit of edginess and move in a little bit deeper if your body will allow for it today. Your practice, your body. Remember, if there's any pain or something that's not familiar, then perhaps needing to change the shape accordingly. Modifying, listening to your body. Let's do this 4 more times in silence, exploring. Perhaps stopping with the shape and seeing what it feels like to be with the shape without moving through it. And then slowly bring yourself back up again to your original seated position, and letting the leg move back down to the earth, connecting the feet, and then resettling your seat, becoming awake and aware now to the whole body as it's seated here. Maybe nodding your head yes, no, just to remember to come back into the whole body from the crown of the head, through the face, the back of the head, neck, shoulders, coming awake and aware to the torso and the spine, the arms by your side, the hands connecting down onto the body, the sit bones and pelvis heavy, cradled by the chair, and then the legs, the heavy legs, the upper legs, the knees bending, the lower legs and the feet connecting, feeling that connection and groundedness, cradled by the earth. Stopping here, coming back to the whole body and waking up to the whole body as it is for you now. Taking a moment to pause with the body. And then slowly starting to bring your awareness back into the room, or from wherever you are, just becoming awake and aware of the sounds that are available. Perhaps sounds that are far away, or maybe noticing sounds that are closer by. And then slowly starting to bring your awareness to the back of the eyelids. If the eyes are closed, then you might wish to see what's behind the eyelids, the colours, the shapes, the shades and textures. That mindful and tender, loving awareness here. Curiously just seeing what's behind the eyelids, and then very gently inviting in some light, slowly opening the eyes. Noticing the shift between the two, eyes closed and the eyes opening. Readjusting your sight. Just drinking in what's here for you now, the gift of sight. And starting to take a few conscious inhales and exhales, so really letting the breath enjoy its full capacity, taking a nice big in-breath. And then a big exhale. And again, inhaling. And then exhale. Your own pace. And one more time, inhaling. And then exhaling. And as we begin to bring this practice, this mindful movement practice to a close, just starting to slowly move and shift in your body any way that feels good for you today, to waken the body back up in preparation to move on with the rest of your day. Thank you once again for joining me, Monique Leverington, for this mindful movement series.